Welcome to KZY 50. By the end of the summer of the year 2014, a new species of a mosquito was discovered in the South County of San Diego. This mosquito carries the Zika virus.
Zika is a new virus that's now found in much of the world. It started over in the African region and it's now spread and is found over much of the populated world now where the mosquito Aedes aegypti can survive, which is one of the mosquitoes that transmits the virus. It got to San Diego towards the end of 2014 and it's now found over a good portion of the county, mostly in the south. So if you live within a few miles of the Interstate 8 corridor or south, you're more likely to be in line for where it lives. But we're also finding new populations in the North County around Oceanside, Vista, Escondido. So it's beginning to spread. We're still learning the overall habits of this mosquito in San Diego since it's such a recent arrival. But what we're determining, at least at this point, is that it starts to kind of become more common around the April-May timeframe, but it really increases as we get to the later part of the summer. Usually August, September, October are the big months for this mosquito. And then as we get into the cooler months, like late November, December, the cooler weather causes the numbers to fall. The real concern for this mosquito is the breeding areas, and all mosquitoes breed in standing water. Now what makes this mosquito, Aedes aegypti, rather unique is that it likes to breed in smaller container type situations. So you're not going to find it breeding in rivers and lakes and swamps and places like that. You're going to find it in backyards breeding in things like, empty containers or anywhere where water pools and kids' toys and rain barrels and places like that. So it's really incumbent upon our citizens to take a much closer look around their property now and look for those places where there might be standing water. For mosquito surveillance, we actually use several different kinds of traps. And with the arrival of this new invasive Aedes mosquito, the Aedes aegypti, we had to actually resort to a new type of trap that's specifically designed to attract them. Our other traps, for whatever reason, don't seem to be quite as good at attracting them as this particular one, which is called a BG Sentinel Trap. The way that this Sentinel Trap works is that it uses a lure that is comprised of it basically imitates the scents given off by human skin. So you put one of these lures inside of this particular trap. There is a fan motor in here that helps kind of draw the air through the top of the trap. And so what'll happen is, as the mosquitoes are drawn through this stream of air, they get trapped in this little catch bag right here. And then we can go back after the trap has been out there for 1 or 2 days and then grab those mosquitoes and bring them back to the laboratory for identification and for testing. And one of the other styles of traps that we use is called a Gravitram Trap. This is usually used predominantly for our West Nile virus surveillance because it's very attractive to the mosquito that transmits West Nile. And what this does is, since mosquitoes need stagnant water to breed, we use stagnant water in the pan below. There's a fan mechanism in this trap as well, and as the mosquitoes fly in to see if it's a good place to lay their eggs, they are caught up in that stream of air from the fan. They're then trapped inside this box inside the trap, and we can go back in 1 or 2 days and again grab those mosquitoes, identify them, and then submit them for testing if it's necessary. The other style of trap we use is probably the one that's used most frequently within the program. This trap here is called an EVS, or encephalitis virus surveillance trap. Also goes by the common name of CO2 trap for carbon dioxide. And the reason this trap works so well is that it uses carbon dioxide as the attractant. Mosquitoes track you down to bite you based on the amount of higher amounts of carbon dioxide in your breath when you breathe out. And so this takes advantage of that by putting carbon dioxide in this container here, and it's frozen pellets of carbon dioxide. When that gas is off, it attracts the mosquitoes. As they come in to investigate to see what's going on, they have another fan mechanism right here, and they get caught in that fan mechanism and pulled down into the sock where they're held. And this usually is left out for a single day, and we'll go back the following day, collect the mosquitoes, and also bring them back to the lab for identification and also for potential testing. These traps are a really good way for us to not only capture specimens for sampling, but it's a really great way for us to be able to monitor mosquito populations around town.
For KZY 50, Juan Villanueva.